Hey guys, welcome back. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning out here. It's sunny, it's in the low 70s. There's a breeze. It rained yesterday and the day before, and it's rare for us to get rain, especially this summer, so it was such a gift, and I'm so excited to be planting these plants because I've had them for a couple weeks. I'm going to be planting up a bunch of evergreens, and I've been thinking about where I'm going to put these, and I still haven't 100% decided. So I'm going to take a little time to really think where I want to put these because I feel like they're a little more permanent. I want to keep them in the spot. I mean, I can move them if I have to, but I feel like I want them to work out, and I want them in a good spot where they're going to give me a lot of winter interest. I'm going to really focus on this fall getting some of those evergreens in the ground, and spring also getting more. And I think having winter come will be great because I'll be able to look out here, and I'm gonna look out here and take note of where I think I might want an evergreen, because that's the time to really look at that and see. So I'm just glad to be out here because it's so nice. Thanks for spending this little bit of time with me. Let me show you what I have. Okay, here is what I've got. So I really love Mugo pines. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know that because I talk about them quite a bit. And I'm learning more about them, and I still have a lot more to learn. But some of them are called dwarf, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be dwarf and stay dwarf. I do think the ones that I planted, I remember looking at the size and seeing that they will stay a little on the smaller end, but only time will tell with that. Because, I mean, this one's called a dwarf right here. Let's see. Yeah, dwarf Mugo pine. And I think it's because they're taken from a certain area of the plant. Someone explained to me, I still don't know, I'm learning. But this says it gets 4 feet. Let's see, it's like 4 by 8. Yeah, 4 by 8, which is pretty large. So you have to really think about that. So these are pretty cold hardy. They're not hardy in zones 1 to 2, but they are, I mean, it must be a zone 3, I guess, right? It doesn't really say that. And then they're going to give me that evergreen interest. But I've been looking at a lot of different types, and this is called a true dwarf Mugo pine. And this stays 3 feet high by 4 feet wide, so a little bit smaller, but still kind of on the bigger end. But I mean, if you've seen some of these Mugo pines in garden beds, I mean, they get pretty big. There's a few spots that I wouldn't mind them getting kind of big, and so I have to really think about where I'm going to tuck these. So these smaller ones I'll keep in areas, of course, that I want smaller, and then I'm going to do a little more research this winter and try to look at some different varieties and see exactly what I want in some areas. But I definitely want to incorporate more Mugo pines. I just absolutely love them, and I love seeing them in people's yards. And I've decided in my yard, I'm still learning what I like. Piper's toys right there. I like the kind of cottagey look in some areas. I like formal, but I would say my garden's not like super formal. It's more, I don't know what it is, you guys. You tell me what it is, but I want it to feel more mountainy because I love the mountains. We live in Utah. I mean, we're not super up high in the mountains, but this creek makes me feel like we are. And so I want that feel for sure. So I'm going to be incorporating more Mugo pines because they just give me that mountainy feel, which I absolutely love. And that's why I love my blue spruce trees, and any kind of pine tree I love. So that's what I'm going to be going for. So I want more evergreens for sure to give me that winter interest. So I'll be doing a little more research this winter into that and really thinking about where I want to put those plants. And then I have these juniper blue stars, and they're so cute. I love them. And these do stay a little on the smaller end, 24 by 36 tall. Let's see how wide. It doesn't exactly say how wide, but I don't think they get too wide. We'll see. And I think it takes these a little longer to grow. I have some pines in my yard that are a little slower growing. These are all full sun though, which can be challenging for me because I have a lot of areas that are part sun now, especially as my trees are getting bigger. But I love the blue color of this, and how cute is that next to each other. So I definitely want to have those different tones in there along with some of the yellow tones, and then the blue and purple. That's what makes the garden look really interesting, is all those different tones. So I definitely want to add some of those blue. And then I have this. I always wanted one of these. This is a Tom Thumb cranberry Cotoneaster, but this is a Cotoneaster. I can't remember how it's pronounced. Watching Garden Answer, she says it in a certain way. I do feel like this has a little bit of a bug, so we'll see how it does. But it's been in my, it's been here in its little pot here at my house for probably 3 weeks or so. So I need to get it in the ground. So I'll find a good place to this. I do want to have this kind of draping over a rock somewhere, and I have plenty of rocks, so I just need to figure out the right spot for it. I believe this is a full sun too. Yeah, full sun. Once established, the watering is water if it's very dry. It blooms during the summer, and I think it gives you those pretty berries, and I think those berries stick around during the winter as well. So I have that planned. So let's go around the yard. I don't know if I'll take you with me, or maybe I'll just walk around the yard here for a minute, and then once I decide where it's gonna go, then I'll show you. Okay, I think I've decided where I want everything. Look how pretty these flowers are right now, you guys. That black cherry at this time of year is so pretty. I've shown you guys several times, but I just love it. So I definitely want more evergreens here. I have this boxwood that I planted here, and then I have these geraniums, and I had always thought I was going to put a Mugo pine here. So I'm putting one of the smaller ones because I want it to be here. I want this room to have a view out here and not be totally blocked, so I didn't want to put anything really tall right here. And look how well my lamb's ear is doing right here. It's so happy. Now I'm worried it's going to get a little carried away, but I do think this is a pretty spot. So I'll have that boxwood here. I'm going to keep these geraniums right here, but I'm going to plop this Mugo pine right here, and I think it'll be so nice to have that during the winter, just that winter interest. And I think it would look really pretty next to the rose here. And then I have this arborvitae here that we just barely planted, and so I think that will be fun. And I like the blue tone here, and then that deep green right here, and then I can plant some perennials around here eventually, or just annuals until I figure it out. I am also going to be moving all my daylilies, and so I'll probably transfer that one now, but I'll probably save that for another video next week where I move all those, but I'll just move this one today. So I'm going to take this geranium out. I have been saving my geraniums, but I probably won't save this one. I'll probably save these two. I need to check on my other ones that I potted up a couple days ago. I'll just take this one out. I'm not going to keep all 3 of those. I already have like 3 that I'm keeping right now. And then over here, look at the marigolds, you guys. I think these are going in my front yard next year. Oh my goodness, look at them blowing in the wind. So pretty. I love them so much. Over here, I think I was going to plant this Cotoneaster. You guys, I'm just gonna slaughter it, but I think I'm gonna put it here. I was gonna put it over by the creek, but I'm still kind of deciding what I'm gonna plant over there. Piper's got a little bit of the zoomies. You got the zooms, Pipes? You got the zoomies? But I decided that I think I'm gonna put it here because it has some really pretty fall colors. So I just read about it a little bit more. You can get berries. It says sometimes you get berries, so it'll be interesting to see if I do. I hope I do. One of the reasons I bought it. And it can do full to part sun, which this area is. It gets a lot of afternoon sun. It can be in areas that are a little bit drier, and so I think this will be a good spot for that too. It will drape over these rocks and hopefully fill in some of this area here. And I think that will be a really good spot. I like to have something draping over these rocks, and it'll be nice to have something that's more evergreen, and it turns a really pretty red in the fall, so that would be really fun too. So the flowers that it has, I think, are like light pink to white, and they bloom in the summer, so it's a really pretty plant, and I think this would be a really good spot for it. Okay, now over here I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put this Mugo pine here. I think I will put it there, actually. I'm going back and forth. I might put it here and take out some of this lamb's ear. Kind of wanted to take this one out anyway, but it's fine for now. It's really slow growing because I think it's because it's in the shade, so it hasn't been too big of a problem. But I think I also might want it here. This is such a hard spot right here, but I think I've figured out the sprinkler issue. So things are starting to come back, but everything I plant here literally dies. So You can see that Gomphrena did not thrive, but I think this would be a really pretty spot too. And what I want to do is I want to create some height tearing off from the trees I have. So I'll have the tree, and then I'll have something high and a little lower, and then low things, because I still want to look out and see the creek. I don't want it to be totally blocked, but I am also realizing I'm just missing a little bit of height. So I'll probably have something that's a little tall that tears down here. And then I have a few boxwoods in here that will get a little bit bigger, the barberry bush, and then I'll have this tree here, but I do want something kind of right next to this tree. And then we'll still have this space here where we can see the creek when we're looking out the window. And honestly, our windows are a little bit higher, so we can still see the creek. So I think it should be fine, but I do feel like I want something a little taller right here. So I'll have to make that decision here in a minute. Look how pretty these flowers are. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna miss this so much. So fun, love that combo. And then over here, I had bought these blue junipers to go here, and I don't really wanna do it. I have a feeling this, I don't know, I can't decide, you guys. These stay low, so I think I'm gonna move this Mugo pine where that sedum is. I don't want to, but I'm gonna. And I think this sedum will be more happy over here because there's more sun right here, and this is getting more shady. So I'm gonna move that there. The Mugo pine here because I think it'll look so much better. Oh, I don't wanna block that peony. Oh, so many decisions to make. I don't know how tall that one's gonna get, but I do feel like it's kind of in a little bit of the wrong place. So this area I need to really figure out. I rearranged plants over there, and I'm so much happier with how they are. So I know it's worth it. So I'm gonna put these in here somewhere. Oh dear, so hard. I feel like when people do this, they make it look so easy, but for me, it's really hard. And then I knew I wanted a Mugo pine up here, but I keep thinking I should put a smaller one because I don't want it to get too ginormous. Like second guessing myself. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put it here. I think it's gonna take forever for it to get super huge. But I mean, this is definitely not a spot where I want it to get super huge. Maybe I'll put a smaller one here. I don't know. Let me think about it for a couple more minutes. getting done. I think I'm gonna be really happy with this, unless it gets kind of crazy on this side, we'll see. But I think this will be so happy over those rocks. And then I got this in the ground over here, Mugo pine, and it looks happy, and I think the spacing's good with the boxwoods. I wanted to tuck it back, but this rock, I forgot, comes clear. Like I put it back as far as it can go. That boulder is just huge. So that's the furthest back I could get it. But I think this would be so pretty here. And then I moved that daylily to the side of my house. They're doing some construction up there and it's kind of loud. So it's actually against the rocks over here. And then over here, I decided to put the Mugo pine here, and I'm so happy I did. And I kind of uncovered this little pine bush that I have. I think this is like the bird's nest, something. And I left some of this lamium. We'll just see how it goes. I might completely tear it out next spring. But I think it looks so cute. And I'm gonna be happy to have that there, I think. And then have the break right here to look at the water. And then I was happy I decided to put this here. These can be drought tolerant after they're established, and that takes a year or more. This area, the water hits this tree and it kind of misses this spot, and I've discovered that's why everything keeps dying here. So I'm hoping I'll keep up with the watering, and then it should hopefully flourish once it's been there for a little while. But I think that's a perfect spot, and it'll kind of grow over those rocks a little bit. And then I put the Mugo pine right here next to it, like I talked about, behind this rock, and that's going to be so pretty too. Loving that option there as well. While I was planting there, I got attacked by ants. There's like a big ant hill there, and I started feeling little bites, and I looked down and I'm like, oh boy. I got ants all over me. They were under my armpit, still biting me after I moved to the next area. And anyway, the soil right here was pretty dry too. So that's just something I need to remember next year to figure something out for that. Are you getting a drink, Pupper? Are you getting a drink? Pupper, you're so cute. And then up here I did some rearranging. I'm questioning myself. I do that a lot. But I did it anyway. So I decided to move this Mugo pine, and I think it'll be good here. I think it is going to get a little bigger. The irises are back there. Right now they're going to be taller than that. And it depends on how big that Mugo pine is going to get. I didn't want to put it here because it would block my peonies and my rudbeckia, and I really want those to flourish there because I love them there. Eventually I'll probably will have to move them as this area gets more and more shady, but right now I like them there. But obviously I'm not afraid to move things, so I can. I put the sedum here because this gets really dry. I think that will be perfect, and it'll be a little happier because it get a little more sun. I was going to tuck it back there, but I decided to move it just right here. And especially in the mornings it gets quite a bit of sun. And then this gives this geranium some room to grow. And then I decided to put in this here. I'm thinking I probably should have maybe put it here. I could not decide, you guys, but I didn't want it to cover this rock. So that's why I put it here. And then I moved this boogie woogie sedum here and left a little bit there. And this should fill in quite a big area here. So it will take a little time, but in the meantime, I can tuck in some perennials in here and back here, which I think I will like next spring, and then some annuals in here until I figure out what to do in here. I think I do want to do some kind of evergreen cover in here, so I'll have to do a little more research. This is an empty spot that I want to think through and figure out. So that's what I did. We'll see how it turns out. I just really don't know how big that Mugo pine is going to get, and I do love it here. It's pretty, and I think it would be great in the winter when I have that one there, then this, and then I feel like I do need something here. And I was going to put that smaller Mugo pine there, but I decided to move that one over here. And I think the smaller one's going to be a better fit here. That's why I put the one that was bigger over there underneath that tree. So much happier about the placement of this one. And I'll be curious to see how fast these grow. Don't have a lot of experience with them. This one that I put here grew pretty quickly, actually. I think I put it in there last spring or fall, can't remember. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me once again in the garden, and we'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.